exciting. I'm so glad that we decided to do this. I feel like we do this unofficially, on our channels on a regular basis. So it totally made sense to just go ahead and make it officially official.
Yeah, shout out to HMA for reaching out to us and putting this thing together. Look at that cool intro they got for us and everything behind the scenes there. And Shelton was just kind of, man, look at this layout and everything we got going on. So I think we're ready to go.
I mean, we're like basically ESPN. The intro threw me off. I wasn't prepared. I started. You guys couldn't hear me, but I was doing the intro when the countdown ended, and then I got music, and then I got more fired up. So I was like, all right, let's go. So we're good. We're here, ready to rock. I'm fired up, man.
Oh, we are ready to go. Okay, so listen, we've talked, incessantly the last couple of months about the new era, but I feel like it's actually real now that spring practice has officially kicked off. We know about the beginning press conferences. We know, he went on all of our individual shows and really, I think, kind of hit it out of the park, and we got a little familiar with him. But I need to know your impressions of John Sumrall now that we are actually seeing a little bit of coaching. Like, Dave, do you feel like he is living up to the hype now when you get to watch these clips of him on the actual field coaching these guys?
I think hype's the perfect word for it. I mean, it's just, it took a little while to get there. We all remember Thanksgiving and the couple of days after, and everybody, oh Lord, here we go again. But ever since then, it's just been hype meter at level 10 for John Sumrall. And Ali, you're right. I think since we've been able to finally get clips, he's been on all of our podcasts. I mean, he's made the rounds. He's doing car washes. I mean, he's here, he's there. He's every sporting event. The hype has really just blown through the roof. And I think these first 2 weeks of spring practice have really shown that. It will come down to wins and losses in September, but this is the time to be optimistic. This is the time to buy in if you're a Gator fan. And I really think he's done a good job, I think, of just naturally being himself and naturally creating the hype. I don't think it's fake hype. I don't think it's manufactured. I think he's being who he is. Yeah. And I think that's why it's endeared itself to Gator Nation so much. It's not a fake hype. It's real. And look, he told us all on all of our shows, he's going to be who he is. And if you don't like it, oh well. And I think that kind of endears itself to Gator Nation because we've had those type of head coaches before.
Yeah, and found some success.
Yeah. And if you don't like it, screw you. And that's and hopefully the wins come behind that.
I mean, the smack talking coach is like prerequisite number 1 on my coaching hiring sheet. So like we can check that box. But Shelton, he said something so interesting in a recent interview. He basically said when he interviewed for the job the very first time, the first conversation he had, he thought there was no chance that Florida would ever hire him because he was a G5 coach from the state of Louisiana. And I think, addressing that, one, is smart, but two, how different could he possibly be right now from the previous G5 coach from the state of Louisiana?
It's been a complete, again, I keep saying it, the analogy that I continue to use, and people are probably sick of hearing it, but we're driving down A1A, baby, and the view is fantastic. It's a complete 180. I'm loving every minute of it. I know our guy, Uncle Lou, big Georgia fan, he keeps calling him Napier 2.0. He's grasping for straws. He's everything but that thus far. Even on the recruiting trail, I mean, that was what Napier's thing coming into this was, or a couple years ago, was his ability to recruit. And even, I mean, look, I think he did a really good job of building with those recruits. But in the sense of, landing a top 5 class, we never saw that. I feel like we're sniffing a potential one of the highest rated, if not one of the highest quality rated classes we've seen in 5 years. I said it a couple days ago, man. It feels like the logo is brighter, the colors are brighter. We the fans have always beat this drum of like, the logo carries weight. We are the University of Florida. And it doesn't feel like we fired a coach and we started over. Like, that's what's wild to me. When we were in the middle of this coaching search, I was kind of in the accepting points. If we don't get Lane, we're going to have a reset season. Mm-hmm. And what I'm feeling right now is what I thought I would feel if we were to get Lane, right? And I think that is huge things and credit to what Summerall has been able to do, because Lane has obviously credentials and has a backing in what he's been able to accomplish. So that's why I thought the carryover would be much easier. The retention alone was massive.
Yeah. Well, Dave, Sean brings up, the point about Lane Kiffin, and that was somebody that we most Gator fans were really all in on the idea of getting Kiffin. But something that I feel like I've come to maybe appreciate in the last couple of months is it feels like Summerall is grateful to be here. And I have to feel like if Lane had come, it would be one of those, like, you should be grateful that I picked you. But do you think his ability so far to show us that he is so excited to lead this program, feels honored, feels grateful, that maybe that's part of why we are, it feels so refreshing?
I literally said this morning because I said when Mullen was here, the way that he kind of approached the situation was like, this is Florida, you should want to be here, and understood what it meant, but necessarily didn't, I would say, wrap it around and really embrace it in a way. And then Napier, I think, understood how big it was, but kind of just was like going through the motions, where, like you said, Summerall like genuinely appreciates the fact that, like, this is the University of Florida. This is sick that I get to come and be a part of this. This is sick that we have such a great community with Breakdown Alleys and all of other content creators that we're able to capitalize on and bring and be a part of. So yeah, again, I think he's winning everything you can possibly win in the offseason right now.
I think on that, Ali, it's, first of all, I was smiling when you brought up the whole Lane Kiffin thing again, because it brought me back to all the text messages we were all on together.
That was wild, dude. That was a fun time.
And what a time that was.
It was, but it felt like a train wreck by the end.
Yeah. I mean, the random phone calls at random times we all three had between each other was amazing. And Soda Quist is in here too. I see him in the chat, him as well. It was nuts, guys, behind the scenes. But also on that, and it's been hit over and over again. He could have went to Auburn, probably could have went to Ole Miss. I mean, it's even come out since then that had he been available, Pete Golden would not have been the hire at Ole Miss. They would have hired John Sumrall. So, and I think knowing that there was somewhat of a choice he had to make, he had options to go to other schools. And Florida, his wife, I think, is an Auburn grad. Obviously, there's connections there. He grew up in the state of Alabama. There's so many connections to Auburn, yet he chose to come to Florida. So, yeah, I do think knowing that pair that with everything else we've talked about already, and just knowing that he chose this job between all the others, I think that's another check mark for John Sumrall.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's hitting all of the right notes for us right now. And, there's that saying that, like, you can sell hope or you can sell wins. And he's in this period of time where he can sell us all hope. He can sell us all the buy-in, of wanting to be a Gator and incorporating all of his family. Now, that's only going to last for so long, though, because then, when the ball kicks off in August, we're judging him based on product on the field. So right now, all we have to go on is the genuine guy that he really is coming across of, and his recruiting, which, that was not one of the maybe top 3 selling points of him when we were getting pitched him. It wasn't recruiting at all. So, I have been incredibly impressed, but is there anything else he can do this offseason that just solidifies this being an A+ home run start so far?
I mean, the offseason we're including recruiting, so that's going to be I would say, the next factor. We're not going to, see much from the spring, I would say, that he can technically do, and we can transition to that here shortly, what we need to see from spring, but that's kind of its own separate topic. But yeah, I would love to see us head into the season. We've got 3 commits thus far for 2027, which is, I think, is really big, given the fact that, we started behind the 8 ball. I mean, some of these kids had to be committed and then recommitted, so we're training for a lot of top guys right now. If we, got some great visits in June, I feel recruiting season, in my opinion, kind of comes to a close in July now. So you got to have a pretty dang good base going into that football season. Will they be in a first-year head coach? I don't know. But if they do, if they're sitting in that 14th, 13th spot, I know it doesn't sound sexy, but bear with me, because that gives them an opportunity to close. I think that is in a hell of a good spot to be in, and that would be a really good measure of the offseason as a complete whole.